rose by 56% and disability crimes increased by 43%. Joining me now on the show is Parm Sandhu, who's a former chief superintendent at the Met Police. Parm, thank you very much. Now, a lot of people might read these and goes, well, hang on a minute, the number of these so-called hate crimes reported to police is massive. The number of charges brought is woeful, it's 8%. But is there something in that? Is it the fact that the police are only charging 8% because most of these just aren't hate crimes?
I don't think it is that fact. I think that what's happened is police productivity has suffered over the last 10 years or so, because there are less police officers now than there were 10 years ago. And what are we asking police officers to do? Are we actually asking them to investigate crime, or are we asking them to fill in the gaps for other services that are stretched? Because don't forget, police officers now go to health emergencies. They go to deal with mental health issues. They go and do welfare checks. If you're having a heart attack, you're likely to get a police officer attend with a defibrillator. So the police remit has expanded, and so the productivity on the actual investigation side has obviously gone down. And when you talk about the 8% that result in a charge in relation to the race hate crimes and all of these types of crimes, compare that to the national average of normal crimes like burglary, theft. That's 5.6%. And if you're unlucky enough to be raped, it's 1.3%. So all of those charge rates have gone down. And in this particular case, the hate crimes has gone from 12% to 8% in a year.
Well, some might say there's something in that, actually, that if the police spent less time dealing with, and I'm not diminishing genuine racism or genuine homophobia or genuine, these kind of things, disability crime or whatever, those kind of hate crimes, if police spent less time trying to chase after people who, I don't know, maybe accidentally misgendered someone or use their free speech to cause offence, then maybe they would have more time to go around to people's house and solve burglaries or even rapes.
Patrick, what I do need to point out is that on these offences, I read the whole report, 40% of them actually had violence included in them. So that's going a little bit further than, misgendering or using terms that are not acceptable. There is violence within those offences that have been reported.
And of those, are they are they charged at a much higher rate then?
It's not differentiated into which ones get the charges and which ones don't. But that's nearly half of them have got violence. That is not acceptable. It doesn't matter who you are, what you want to call yourself. It is not acceptable to be walking down the street and be suffering violence from anyone.
So what I want to get to the bottom of is the charging is one thing, OK? So about 8% of these increasing numbers of crimes reported, anyway, are getting charged. But why are so many of them being reported? Is it because more and more people are racist, homophobic, anti-trans, anti-disabled or whatever? Because that's an argument here that would paint it. If people are reporting all of these things a lot more, it must mean that we're producing a lot more hateful people.
On the actual report, it says that it may be due to better recording systems, or it may be because more people have the confidence to report. But it does actually say within the report that there's been more discussion about transgender issues on social media, and there's always spikes in those type of offences if there's more discussion about particular areas. But in addition to that, you have got the lower productivity of policing in general, because policing isn't about actually catching the bad guys. It's become a political tool.